This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
Celebrities here today, ladies and gentlemen, some historical figures from bygone days, and first of all I'd like to bring to the microphone a man who was pushed into being the king by his brother Edward, who abdicated and went and married Mrs. Simpson, an American divorcee. He became George VI, and he said in 1940 when Buckingham Palace was bombed, "I am glad they've bombed us, we can show our faces at the East End of London and say we've been bombed as well." So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the microphone, doing one of his famous speeches from the wartime years, His Majesty King George VI. Thank you.
I address you all, the peoples of Pickering, for on this September day of 1939, the nation enters into conflict. In this grave hour, perhaps the most fateful in our history, I send to every household of my peoples, both at home and overseas, this message, spoken with the same depth of feeling for each one of you, as if I were able to cross your threshold and speak to you myself. For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out of the differences between ourselves and those who are now our enemies. But it has been in vain. We have been forced into conflict for which we were called with our allies to meet of a challenge of a principle which, if it were to prevail, would be fatal to any civilized order in the world. It is to this high purpose that I now call my peoples at home and my peoples across the seas who make our cause their own. I ask them to stand calm and firm and united in this time of trial. We commit our cause to God, then with God's help we shall prevail. May He bless and keep us all. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, made Prime Minister in 1940 when Neville Chamberlain threw the blanket in, said, "I cannot be Prime Minister." He became Prime Minister from 1940 to 1945. He was a wartime Prime Minister, and the speeches he made were remarkable. He's been put down as the most famous Great Britain of the 20th century. Please show appreciation for Mr. Winston Churchill.
Thank you very much. A very good morning to you all. Many of you may not have seen me in the flesh.
You'll have to send me some.
I was proud and pleased
Yeah, of course.
when His Majesty the King asked if I could form a government of general administration, something to which I heartily agreed. I felt then, indeed as I feel now, the whole of my previous life, I had been walking with destiny for this very moment to lead my country, indeed our empire, in this grave hour. You will forgive me if I pause for a moment, but I'm I think they call it man flu. My opponent in this dark hour is a man who would like to be described as Adolf Hitler. Nothing could be farther from the truth. This man, this bloodthirsty gutter snipe, was born in Austria, so indeed is Austrian.
Mr. Winston Churchill, who will be taking the salute for the parade. And we see the American Jeeps coming up now. The gear's backing up. Please move right back, ladies and gentlemen, away off the road, everybody. Thank you. Give them another applause for your walkers. Here comes the senior service, the Royal Navy, ladies and gentlemen. The Royal Navy. From 1939 to 1945, they were in action right from September the 3rd, right up to May the 8th, right up to August the 18th, 1945. And of course the armed forces, the army, our Polish allies there, marching in the parade this year. The lads from the Burma Star Association and the Royal Air Force.
Home Guard!
And here come the lads from the Home Guard, ladies and gentlemen. LDV, Mukduk and Vanish. Home Guard from Haworth. And the Home Guard. The Bevan boys, the miners and the ladies who went down the pits. The Land Army girls. The Women's Voluntary Services. And of course the flags of the United States, the Navy, the Army, the Marines and the Air Force. The US forces come round again, ladies and gentlemen. Here come the civvies up now. I think it's all the kids now, look. These have not grown up, these lot. Look. Jimmy Clitheroe and son, look. Jimmy Clitheroe's here. Our gang, here they are, ladies and gentlemen. They're evacuees, but nobody's taken them back home. So they still think they're evacuees. They still think they're all 12. Even my mum used to have a pram like that. Here we got the foreman. And we've got the military vehicles coming up now, ladies and gentlemen. All the military vehicles. Here it comes. It's Arkwright. Mr. Arkwright. Are you alright, Mr. Arkwright? Where's Grenville? Where's Grenville? Still up there, is he okay? The motorcycles. The British Army dispatch rider motorcycles. Another Willis Jeep. The American Jeeps, overpaid, oversexed and over here. And now the lads underpaid, undersexed and underrising. Now here we go. Austin KT, the one seen in that film, what was that film called? Ice Cold in Alex.
Yeah. Oh, they pushed that a long way.
We've got another one coming up here. I think this is an American one. No, this is it a Ford? A Bedford, it's a Bedford. It's a Bedford, that's a British Army Bedford coming up. This one is a Tilly, is that a Tilly? It's a Morris, thanks for prompting me. It's a Morris, come and stand next to me. This is another Bedford. This is another Bedford coming up there. Royal Navy Bedford one coming up. And what's this one? Is it a Ford? Is that a Ford? Humber. It's a motor car. Okay, right. Give them a round of applause. They come to drove some of these vehicles. Mark, this is the Dodge Weapons Carrier. An American one, Dodge Weapons Carrier. With two dodgy people in the back. And another American Jeep. Look, there's Neville Chamberlain. You've retired, you, haven't you? Neville Chamberlain there. Look, you should be down to the Parliament. This is a Dodge ambulance coming up there. Used from 1930s right up to 1950s and 60s. The Dodge ambulance. And we see some officers, as usual, getting a lift in the Jeep. RAF. Captain. Oh, a lady motorcyclist. Another Willis Jeep with a gangster in the front. Definitely a gangster. Another Willis Jeep. They must be coming out the woodwork, these Willis Jeeps, aren't they? Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a round of applause. They come past, a cheer or something. They look forward to this every year when they come past. Every year they come down here, they come up here. Aren't they wonderful? And this is another, I think it's another Dodge Weapons Carrier coming up. We must have got these in a fire sale or something. There's a lot of these Dodge Weapons Carriers. And another, is it another Jeep? Another Jeep coming up, yes? Yes, it is. I'm on my own. Right, here we go. Oh, this is a nice one, isn't it? What's this one? Austin Tilley, a 50s Jeep. Another Jeep. There's a lot of Jeeps here, isn't there?
He wants to move on to Willis in or something.
American Rally, I believe, ladies and gentlemen.